Our kids are not like toys, you know. You can't just turn them off, switch them off, take out their batteries and that's it.
Hey, it's Hazelle.
It's Azura. And I'm Germaine.
And welcome back to another episode of Clevities. Now, girls, today we're going to discuss something that we have zero experience with.
Yeah, okay.
That is parenting in the social media age. So who else better to invite than Naomi Neo?
Hi. Thanks
Welcome,
for having me.
welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Hi, Neo. Tell us more about yourself. What have you been like up to these days?
Honestly, just busy being a mom, a parent. Yeah, and I guess the two brands that I started recently. Yeah, so I guess that's about it. You know, life's been pretty much the same. It's just these three new edition.
Three new edition being Enchanted, Empower, and Being a Mom.
Empower, and a mom of two.
Being a mom is like 10,000 jobs in one, technically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes I look at her and I'm like, I don't know where this time is coming from. Because I think we're about the same age. In fact, I think she might be younger. And she's doing all these things.
Right.
And being a mom is no joke.
I know. Must be tough being an all-time influencer, all-time mom, and starting two brands of your own.
I mean, I watch other moms, you know, hustle as well. So I always tell myself, you know, if they're not tired, I can do it too.
No,
Everybody is
very
different.
well already.
But you look radiant and glowy.
Oh, I think it's oil. You know, from the whole morning and everything just running here and there. Yeah, it's not a glow.
Okay, quick check. How many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Okay, let me calculate. I guess on a good day, or I would say average, maybe about 7? 6, 7?
decent.
Yeah, that's okay.
How many hours of sleep we get every night, girls?
But I think the energy you use as a mother
Yeah.
running around is
That's
different.
true,
It's
that's
really
true.
different. Yeah.
Do you
We
take
run
nap
around
times?
for other reasons.
Yeah.
But she runs around as a mom. Yeah.
No naps, no.
No nappy times?
No.
Oh, no.
Wait,
No
when your
time.
kids nap, you can't nap?
Usually I take the time to get whatever I need to be
That's
done.
true, that's
So no naps.
You know, this brings me to this survey results that we have gathered, okay? Over 60% of 2,000 parents, they actually said that they have experienced some form of parental burnout.
Burnout, okay.
Burnout being parents. And 88% of them said that parenting today is harder than when they were growing up. Do you girls feel the same way? What do you think is the biggest difference parenting today and when, like, you know, maybe 20 years ago when we were growing up?
I feel like social media actually played is playing a huge
I
role in
totally
this
agree.
change, because like back then there's no social media, you know, there's no external influence. There's no like, you know, you don't get critics here and there for your parenting and everything else. So like last time, you know, you want to do what, you just do. But today it's like somebody says this, somebody says that, and then like there's just so many different opinions. I
And
don't
it's
know.
crazy because technically you're not even answerable to them.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
So do you allow your kids to be on social media?
You mean like to put
Use
them...
social media.
Oh no, my son is like he hears it like from us, like conversations, right? So he gets like, I have my video on TikTok. But like, you know, he doesn't really fully grasp like the concept of it or anything like that. But it
What
is.
being on TikTok
Yeah,
means,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I don't think he understands how famous he is on TikTok.
Exactly. Does he know? Does he get people like coming up to him and saying, hey, hi, I
Yes.
see you
So we just came back from a trip, like
Yeah.
from Australia. So like there were people coming up to us from like Australians. And then it's like, oh, I love your content, I love your son. Yeah, these days it's always about him. Like whenever we go out and like people ask for photos, sometimes I'm the photographer. So yeah, it's cool. But I don't think he really understands why they're taking pictures with him or anything like that. But I think the funniest experience that we had was this one time we had a friend gathering, like ourselves, right? And then I met some new moms, and then they had their kids there, and then they were speculating like, is that Kyzo? And then because they're on social media.
But if they see you, they would know that's Kyzo.
No, so it's so that's our first time meeting each other.
Okay.
So the kids have never seen me before, at least in person. They're slightly older, so they had their own phones, and then they were all like gathered in a small mini group, and then they were just discussing. And then after that, a few moments later, my son joined them. And then he was like, Mommy, they are watching my TikTok video. Yeah. So it was quite funny. And then like they became friends shortly after. Yeah.
That's cute, like yeah. But social media really changed the parenting game because I know, you know, you've posted a lot of videos where you receive flames for that as well, like the scaring one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And the one where you told Kakai you forgot to buy his plane ticket.
Yeah. That one. So to me, I just feel that at the end of the day, it's I feel that we should never judge someone else for their parenting style because everybody's different. Every kid is different. So what works for you may not work for me, and what works for your kid may not work for my kid. So I personally know Kai obviously the best, right? So he reacts actually very differently off and on cam in that sense. It's not that he is aware that, where these videos are going to be on, or he's also not fully aware that, sometimes I'm actually recording in that sense, because he's just very used to it, right? Since birth until now, it's always the camera just around, like someone else or it's me. So it comes very naturally. Like sometimes we take a video and it's not even, the intention sometimes isn't even to like post it online. We took it and then we realized, oh, it's kind of funny, and then like I decided to share it. So sometimes it isn't with the intention of, creating content, which is something that not a lot of people understand. They just think like, oh, doesn't your son see you holding the phone or the camera? Like, doesn't he know that it's a prank, or like, is he okay with it? And things like that. And the truth is, my son has this thing where like, he cries, but he's not really upset.
Okay.
You know what I
No
mean?
kids are like that though.
Yeah. So it's like, sometimes it's like, he cries for that few seconds, and then the next moment he's like back to playing, and he's cool. He doesn't remember it, and in fact he sometimes joke about it, like, I want to see the video again. Like, can I watch this video? Like every day he bugs me to watch back on his old videos that I took of him.
Yeah.
And he's totally cool with it. So like, I feel these are some things that people don't see off camera, right? True. So I'm not saying they are wrong, because I do agree that from an outsider's standpoint, it may be something difficult to understand, especially if you're not a parent, or like, especially if you are not used to taking such videos, right?
Correct.
So I think it's completely understandable that everyone has their own opinion. But yeah,
It's harsh. It's a harsh world.
yeah, it is.
Do you wish they wouldn't impose those opinions on you?
Honestly, I'm quite receptive. Like I feel I'm someone who feels like everyone's entitled to their own opinion. It's just that, I mean, there are times where I wonder if the true motivation of like, making a stand, if it's really because they genuinely want to, speak up, or like if they genuinely want to help, or if it's for another purpose, What's
What
it
we
motivate?
call mum shaming. Right?
Yeah. These kind of videos that circulate around of people's speculations. Normally, I don't see them myself. I get like my mom telling me, my dad telling me, and then my friends sending me like, Naomi, do you watch this video? And then I do get quite affected, because even though I know my son or my daughter the best, I do start to question myself. And I'm, in contrary to like popular belief, I'm not a super confident person. So like, I do doubt myself a lot, especially in such situations. I will start to like question, did I really do something wrong? Even though like deep down I know that what's the true intention of it, right? Or like I know why I did it and how things went, but like it still affects me.
It's just crazy that moms have to defend themselves so much for their own choices.
Yeah.
But from the comments that I see, they were also coming from a point of view where they want your son to trust you growing up.
Yes.
So was that one takeaway you feel like you can like get from this entire situation?
Yes, I completely understand where they are coming from. But I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of post-care that doesn't happen on camera.
Yes.
Post-care, like, I explain to him things. So like if it's a prank, we usually tell him tell him about it after the video. Like,
Off cam.
Yeah, like, so we're
Okay.
like, so no, mommy and daddy's just joking, like, are you cool with it? We ask him about it, we talk to him about it. So usually he's fine. Like I said, he will, want to watch the videos again, and he knows it's not real. Like, for example, the ghost prank, he knew that it was not real, and he was completely fine with it. He wanted to do it again. Obviously, I didn't want to do it again, but like, because since a very young age, we always did pranks on Kai, personally, like stuff that we didn't even share online. So he's very used to this thing, and in fact, he has a bit of that mischief in him as well.
Yes,
So he likes to prank people as well, and I think it's completely normal, because like I have my dad is also a bit like that, so he likes to like tease me and like do this kind of like things, which I don't feel. I think it depends on to what extent, to what extent. And like I said, I think post care is very important. Like how you explain to them, and like whether they understand that how they differentiate between reality and whether it's just a joke, So
Right.
I think that's really important.
So, Neo, can you give us one example of a very ridiculous comment that you've seen on your social media?
I don't think I can point out like one comment, but I think in general, like comments these days are not very kind.
Especially on TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess it's because, your identity isn't like known to the world, right? So you can really make whatever sort of comment and, like, protect your own identity and not get into trouble for it. So
Keyboard
Keyboard
warriors.
warriors.
That's
yeah.
right.
But I mean, like, for me, I'm kind of used to it because, like, I've been on this not TikTok, but like on social media for like
Yes.
a decade, over a
OG,
decade.
yeah.
So like to me, it's like I'm kind of used to it. It's just that when it comes to the kids, I'm slightly more sensitive about it, and because it's not just me, it's about someone else. So I tend to reflect on it a lot as well. So even though sometimes, like I said, I know my true intentions or I know what's the agenda behind doing some stuff, right? I still think and I wonder if like is there anything that I can improve on, or like if it's a hate comment, is there something that I did that's I can
causing
change?
this?
Yeah. So I do a lot of self-reflection. So it's not always like taking it negatively, but sometimes I try to like see, okay, maybe, if you get a negative comment, is there something that you can work on to better yourself?
I see.
Yeah. So like I feel there's no one comment, but in general I just feel like there's just a lot coming from all directions.
We can
on,
use
like,
more love
Yeah.
in the social media world.
And
for
please
sure.
remember, like, even though you don't know them, it's like real people who are reading your comments. Like, they will
Right.
see it.
She's real in the flesh. We
Yes.
touched
Yeah,
her
yeah,
just now. We squish. Yeah, she's real.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a question, right? Which is, we know some people who are online who choose to not expose their kids, not show their kids, not upload, pictures, videos of their kids,
Yeah.
because they feel like them being on that platform is their choice, but the kids are not of an age where they can make an informed choice.
Yes.
So how did you come to that decision that, it's okay for you to do that?
I think it's a balance in a sense where like initially before I was a parent, right, it was half. Like I was thinking, whether should I expose them or should I not? But I guess it comes naturally in a sense where like if he wants to be, he can be. Like if he wants to be in a photo, join me. If he doesn't want to be taken, like a video or a picture, I don't like force it. So like I never ever force it. So if he's not in the mood today, he doesn't want to be filmed or recorded, I'm cool with it. Obviously, when he was a bit younger, it was on and off. Like I don't really put much focus on the kids. I think it was only in the past year that like I started to have more content with him on TikTok, started doing more videos together. And that's because he's also been more participative in that sense. He wants to be in them. So like, in fact, there are some times where I tell him, no, you don't need to be, and he wants to be. So like, I guess it comes with a lot of their own decisions as well. Yeah, so I don't feel I'm in a position to say anything about that, but like personally I'm cool with it. Yeah, as long as they are okay, I don't want to force them or anything. Yeah.
Because some hate comments may come as well, right? Exposing your kids to social media at such a young age. And once again, I think that's mom shaming. And a lot of time, mom shaming doesn't just happen on social media. It happens in real life as well.
Yeah.
Have you had like, friends or family tell you ways or like teach you how to parent your kids?
Yeah, like almost every other day. I think it's normal, especially from the older generation. But like, I think I'm kind of used to that because like even before I became a mom myself, I watch other people like teach other people to be a parent, right? And I completely understand why, because even before becoming a mom myself, there are times where, like I watch another mom or I watch another dad, like the way they interact with their kids, I do have questions as well. But, like it really depends on your approach and the way you go about like asking them or like saying things. I think it really matters. Like there's a fine line between just being curious or like just giving advice versus mom shaming. So I feel like we just have to be kinder with our words and kind of put yourself in someone else's position to think about how you would feel if it's you, Yeah.
No, but at the end of the day, like mind your own business. Also, that's a harsh statement, but it is true because sometimes they really give unsolicited opinions that like for example, Naomi, you have to breastfeed. Okay, if you don't, right, your kids won't have the immunity. Shit like that. You've heard, right?
Yeah. So like even from like the hospital, sometimes you get like remarks or like questions from like even the nurses themselves, like when you're talking about breastfeeding, right? So like there's always this struggle between doing what everybody's doing and versus what you really believe in, and especially it's a bit more of a struggle as a first-time mom. So obviously, you know, I have 2 kids already. It's getting better. But I remember struggling with that for a really long time when I had Kai, like my first child. When everything was very new to me, I felt like half of me, like, I needed advice from different people. But then other half of me is like, sometimes I really don't need the advice because it's like different advice from like different people. And then sometimes it confuses you as a person as well. You know, should I do this or should I do that? So it gets very tiring. And then you have it does feel like you have to answer to people even though you don't have to, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think what you mentioned just now is very true. Drawing the line is very important. It's a fine line, right? So as a mother, what do you think is that line between like mom shaming and genuine advice from people?
I think it's just the way you phrase things or
And the
like,
tone, right?
Yeah,
The tone.
yeah. Like, you know, like some people can like ask you the same question. Like person A and person B can ask you the same question, but like the tonality matters. You know,
One
like,
you're offended and one you're okay.
Yeah, correct. Like sometimes there's like some people are just really friendly and you can like feel like they're really genuine about, you know, just asking you something or telling you something, like they genuinely care for you. And then sometimes you really question their motive, you know, like do you want a reaction out of it, or like, you know, you want someone else's reaction, like, especially if it's publicized online, right? So like I guess I feel most affected when someone has an opinion about me or my kid and it feels directed to me, but at the same time it's publicized, you know, it's so like over publicized to an extent. Because I mean, like TikTok videos, you know, people just share and then it's like blasted. So like everybody knows about it within the next few minutes. And you don't really know what you did wrong at that moment. And you wish that there was this private moment where you could have a conversation with this person, you know, like, you know, is there something you wish to tell me or some advice you wish to give me that I can, you know, perhaps improve on, rather than, oh, I saw this and then I start to question, is there something wrong with me? You know, I don't know what to do. So there's a lot of confusion and like a lot to take in emotionally. But of course, like I said, it's getting better because, you know, it's not a new thing to me now. So yeah.
I think being in the spotlight, you have it 100 times harder. Everything is scrutinized. Your whole parenting style, you know, even anything that you do is scrutinized to like the millimeter.
It's like zoomed in by the public.
People think that, oh, because you're always in the public eye, you should be able to.
You're used to it.
Yeah. People actually have this mindset that you chose this life, you chose to put your kids online, you should be used to all sorts of comments, and even if they were to be like super nasty, you have to take it all in.
That's such a stupid thing
I
to
don't
say.
know. Actually, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I'm not like, I don't know, because sometimes I read these comments and I wonder, am I supposed to be used to it? Like, I don't know.
No, you
I
are supposed
understand.
to. You are supposed to set your own boundaries.
Yes.
If you're not okay with that, you're not okay with that. You
Like, I
don't.
keep asking myself, like, should I stop posting things if I don't want these comments? Like, I do have this like moments where I start questioning, you know, like, should I just stop all this?
How about
And
you be a Rainy Young? Turn off your comment section. Like something happened to her recently and she just turned off her comment section.
Right.
She didn't even answer to the news that were blasting all over like China.
Right, yeah.
No, and the crazy thing is, right, everything you do or everything you say, they will find a way
It's
to
true.
do something
It's
or say
true,
something
it's
about
true.
it.
Yeah.
If you say like, oh, you know, I just wanted to share, then they'll be like, oh, then you not happy with my comment that you don't post log. And then if you say something else, they'll say something else
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
You know?
It's never ending. So like, with Kai, I obviously share about him more frequently because he's older and he has his own opinions, right? But with Zyla, like my daughter, my second one, she hardly appears, and that's also because she's too young to really decide whether she wants to be or not. And that's why I don't, like I said, you know, it's more of a free space. But yeah, people have comments as well. Like when I post too little, they're like, why don't you show your daughter? You don't like her? Is there an issue with your relationship?
Yeah, they would say like, oh, you prefer Kai over.
There were so
Zai.
many,
Yeah,
and every single video I post with Kai, they'll say like, you obviously don't love your daughter. You know,
I've seen that.
yeah.
Like, who are
She
you
can
to
do
say
no
that?
right, like, hello.
So like, I really don't know what to do. And then when I start to show more, you know, like you should start showing less of your kid.
Oh.
Otherwise, you know, like they like there's just never ending.
Oh, turn off the comment section.
It sounds like there's a lot going on in her head.
Yeah,
I
there
know.
is.
But you know what? This brings me to my next point. There are 4 types of like modern parenting styles, and let's take a guess which Naomi belongs to. Number 1, free range, allows and encourages the child as much freedom and independence as is appropriate for their age and development. Number 2, helicopter. Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
This is like a coin
Hovering.
term from like, over parenting. You're always hovering above your kid like a helicopter, right? Number 3, paranoid. You're constantly worried that they may fall sick. You fear that something might happen to them. And number 4, positive. Focus on establishing love and connection and to resist that temptation to punish them, but rather guide with like control and empathy.
If I were to guess, I would think it's a mix between 1 and 4. Free range and positive.
too.
Yeah,
You think so?
yeah.
Me too. What is your parenting style?
I personally feel it's like a mix of all. It's like a mixture of all. It's like different situation calls for a different parenting style in my opinion.
What kind of situation calls for you to be a helicopter?
So like, okay, for example, right before this, I actually attended a school event, and it's the first in-school event together. So I've never been in school. I've never been with all his classmates and teachers all around, right? So today was the first time, and it was kind of overwhelming in a sense. I mean, apart from the kids and the chaos, it was overwhelming in the sense where I don't really know how to behave, when to step in and when not to, like when to allow them to just deal with it themselves and when to, stop it. And I'm also afraid of judgment because sometimes you don't step in and people are like, you allow your son to do that? No,
because people are watching you too.
Yeah. So there's a lot of this kind of fear, especially when you're a public figure in that sense. I feel like there's a lot more pressure because for people to like, there's a lot more opportunity for people to judge you and say that, you should be doing this, you should be doing that.
You're not doing enough.
She let her son run anyhow.
Yeah. So, and it's always like, and there's always this easy saying like, because she influencer lah, so like maybe that's why the kids are allowed to do this because she doesn't have a proper job or like this and that. Yeah, I feel like there's always this kind of thinking. So
Hello, she makes more than you leh.
I don't know, but like I'm just like really afraid of all this. So just now, there were a few moments where the kids were playing. I mean, he's a boy after all. You like. You have that like mentality that boys play rough, they play extremely rough as compared to girls, right? So I didn't know when to step in, and then at one point the boys were really, really rough with each other and almost like it feels like they were hurting each other, and then I was like, should I step in or should I not, or should I let the teacher step in? So like I feel like in that sense I feel like the helicopter
and paranoid.
Yeah. So like I was like, guys, stop. And then I also didn't want to be like, I was also afraid like, what if people think that like why this mama so kanchong, like need to keep controlling.
Overprotective play also cannot.
Yeah. So I'm also afraid of micromanaging, because sometimes they said that they actually learn best through their own experiences, right? You don't want to always step in at the wrong moments and kind of ruin that experience for them.
That learning for them, right?
Yeah. So like I try to like wait for a while and judge the situation before I decide on whether to step in or not.
It really sounds so hard.
It's a learning process.
I'm getting my tubes tight today.
Well, I feel like in this kind of situation, you can just imagine that you were at a family event, somewhere you're more comfortable with, and how you would react at that moment. Just bring it to that setting. You wouldn't go wrong. I feel.
Right. Yeah, that's a comforting way to like
think about it.
Still try to figure out. I think like having a kid, apart from like teaching them, sometimes I feel like they're teaching us as well. So like I'm really learning to be the mom that I wish to be for my kids. Yeah, it's a learning process.
And I think that you're doing many things right because according to a study, social media actually impacts the way we parent. There's a strong link between parents who regularly shares their child's photos, videos on social media because there's like a more permissive, like friend-like parenting style. Like I have a friend, she gave birth really early, so her daughter is 14 years old now.
Wow.
She's probably in her early 40s, and that's a third kid, by the way. So they always share each other's photos on social media, and a lot of times I see her stories. It's just a huge photo of her daughter's selfie, like the ugly kind of, and then they post it up.
Yeah.
And they're so friendly with each other. You would think that they're sisters instead of like mother-daughter, and that is actually a kind of relationship I want to achieve with my future child.
Yep.
right? Would you guys adopt the like social media way of parenting next time?
I mean, after I get my tubes untied, because I mean, I have a little nephew, right? And
Lucas.
generally we're very, very private with him for a lot of reasons. But I think because our family wants to stay that way, wants to stay private, we try not to share too much about the kids because we don't want them to be subject to judgment. It's very hurtful, not just for the kids. The kids doesn't know, like they can't read the comments. It's hurtful for us when people say shit, and it makes me want to go to your house and find you.
And when it comes to a time where they can actually understand the comments, then it's going to be hurtful for them.
It's true. It's true.
Can Kai you don't let him
he
read
doesn't
anything?
he's not like he doesn't know how to read yet, and he doesn't so to answer your question earlier on as well, right, whether he's on social media, so he's not. Firstly, he doesn't really know how to. Secondly, I don't really allow that to happen as well. I think he's not at the right age to really understand what's going on, and it's a lot of that as well. I don't want to like expose him to like all this negativity, although honestly speaking, I haven't received anything negative like directed at him or Zyler at the moment. So like all's good, but yeah, I guess that's an issue. Like it's a good thing to think about as well.
Do you fear that like in a short couple of years he would be able to read these comments and understand them?
Honestly speaking, right, I think it's inevitable. Like in today's generation, right, even if we stop them from going on social media, like there's also the fear like, what if everyone's on social media and then they are not, like if they don't, they're not exposed to it.
They lose out.
Yeah. There's always this fear of, it's like the kiasu parenting, right? It's like, if I do too much, it's too much. If I do too little, like what if people like are ahead of me, right? So currently I'm not that concerned because he's still a kid, he still has fun. But I guess when he gets older and when he starts to have his own more of a like he has his own mind in that sense, then I guess we can revisit this topic again, like whether I want to put it, like expose him to social media as much as right now. So we can talk about it again.
Okay, then let's look at the former Mediacorp actress, Jaislyn Tay. She has a son, 10 years old, called Xavier. So recently, I think half a year ago or something, she actually posted on social media about this sex talk that she had with her 10-year-old kid. So Xavier actually initiated the talk surrounding like sexual pleasures. So he basically asked, is there pleasure when the penis penetrates the vagina? And what happens, mummy, if my penis gets erected? So there was like some sort of like education going on, and it garnered like really mixed reviews from the public.
Yes.
Like some people say, oh, it's great that you're doing this talk at such a young age, but some people feel like, is this too young for this sex talk to be happening? And also Xiaxue, another OG influencer, blogger, brought up possible consequences. She just brought up the fact that Xavier might be teased to death in school. What do you think about this?
I don't feel like I'm in the position to like comment directly, but personally, like I think that I'm very strong on like let every mom do their own thing with their own kid, right? Because like you really don't know how each kid will turn out eventually, It's like last time in our parents' generation, it's like, you have to spank for them to listen.
Hey, that's my dad.
Yeah, that's my generation as
I
well.
also got whacked.
Yeah, got caned, man.
Yeah. And then it's like, but now it's like, all gentle parenting. Don't hit your kids. Otherwise you're not like respecting them. You're not like allowing them to, grow in a certain way, or
validating their feelings.
Yeah. There's a lot of different opinions, but at the end of the day, we really don't know what will happen and how they will turn out to be. So yeah, just let them be.
Some people say things just, for the sake of getting a reaction out or something like that.
Honestly, before this, there was a lot of talk about how they were saying like in schools they don't teach them enough like sex ed,
exactly,
right? They were saying that.
So it's down to the parents to educate them.
Exactly. So like to me, it's like, who are we to say that it's too early? Because you know your son best, right? So maybe he's ready for that talk. Like my son may not be ready, but maybe your son is. And it's like, at what age is it appropriate to bring up this subject? We don't know, right?
Only you would know as a mom,
exactly.
right?
So it's like, if your child is ready, go ahead, like do whatever you think is great for you guys. But being online and everything's just amplified, So like, I guess sometimes it's like, maybe I would have done it with my son, but maybe I wouldn't have shared it.
Posted about
Yeah,
it.
because
Okay.
like you really don't know what people will say, and like it really depends on each individual, you know, whether they're ready for this
Yeah.
or not. Yeah,
Like me at the age of 28, I never got that sex talk from my parents.
Yeah, you get it now.
Same,
I can tell you how
Okay,
you need.
after this, I need a...
How sex works.
step A, step B.
That's something called foreplay.
Yeah.
So this really goes to show like parenting last time and parenting now is so different.
It is.
Having that sex talk at the age of 10 is something my parents would never imagine could have happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so Naomi, who are your pillars of support when it comes to motherhood?
I would say definitely my parents.
Aw, they're
yeah,
so
because
sweet.
like since I knew that I was adopted, and it really changes my perspective on a lot of things, especially like how unconditional their love is. It's like, you know, when it's your own child, there's that kind of love, right? And then there's like, this is not my child, but then I can love him even more or love her even more. And it's like, there's really, you know, like a lot more respect for parenting. So I feel like with my parents, I can really be open with what's going on in my life and with the kids. So they have their own advice as well that I take in sometimes because we have like different parenting styles as well.
Correct.
Yeah. So like it's them, and then there's also my husband, obviously. So we work hand in hand to like deal with the kids, right?
That's
So yeah, in terms of like mom friends, I do make a lot of. I mean, that's the nice part of like putting your kids online in that sense, because you do get like these nice messages from like different
Mothers
people.
alike.
Yeah, and then they share their own experiences, and then you make friends from there, and sometimes they really last a lifetime, you know, like friendships, because you realize that, oh, there is someone else going through the same thing as me, you know, I'm not alone. And I feel like it came from that motivation. Like I started sharing about my mom journey or my parenting journey because I felt like I've always wanted to connect with my audience in that sense, where I don't lose touch. You know, like I don't want to stop sharing about my life after becoming a mom. So it's like, it's always about that connection. So like you really gain friendships through the process.
Just as much as you don't want to feel alone.
Yeah,
Can you imagine the millions of moms that watch you? They don't want to feel alone as well.
So it's, and sometimes it comes as a surprise, because it's like they think like you have it all together when you don't, and it really gives them a lot more courage,
Confidence.
and confidence. So like I feel it's really important that like there's more support. It's not just them supporting me, but I'm supporting them as well.
So nice.
Yeah, so it's really like, I just wish, you know, like the mom group, like the mom circle could be more united, and like we could help each other more rather than
tear each other down.
Yeah, correct.
But
I
it
hope
seems
that-
to me that you're slaying this like a mom job thing.
I'm trying.
Do you
I'm
intend
really
to
trying.
give Kai and Zai a little sibling?
Let's not talk about that. Not for now.
Too much.
Okay, I'm really open to the idea. I'm not like, you know, no, but like at this point, I just feel that there's really a lot lesser time. It's like with Zyla, each child comes with like lesser time. So I feel like before I decide on having the third one, I just want to make sure that my second one has the same, or at least close enough attention to, you know, back when Kyzo was younger. Because when Kyzo was younger, he really had 2 full years of my undivided
COVID,
attention.
yes.
Yeah, and then it's like with Zyla, there's her brother, and then there's like my other things that's going on in my life. So I just feel like it's not very fair to her in that sense. So I kind of just want to like build that relationship with her before I decide on, you know, building my relationship with someone else again. Yeah, so yeah, we're just leaving it there. And
Nice. That's very nice to
That's
hear.
a very mature way of thinking. And if there's anything I took away from today, is that please be kind to any mom that you meet.
yes.
In their mind is a tornado of things
it's
going
a
on.
tornado.
They may look calm on the outside,
Yes.
but on the inside they're struggling with a lot.
Yes, really, really, really. Like on, you know, TikTok, right? Because like people just share everything. I saw this video recently where like someone was taking a video of another mom. She made it clear that she's not a mom herself, and then she was like, you know, I'm not a mom myself, but why do you have a kid if you don't know how to be a mom? And then like it was a video of the mom like dragging her kids across like the road. And I don't know what was happening. She doesn't know what was happening, but she was just judging from a distance, right, on what the situation was. And I was just wondering, you know, like, what could she have done to make the situation better instead of putting it online and like getting more people to speculate and like, you know, just, yeah, it's just like, why won't people just like take a moment to think what's going through her head at that point? You know, is she struggling? Like, why don't you offer help?
You
Like,
use the time to take a video instead.
yeah. It's like, you know, you never know. What if it's the child that doesn't want to move? What if it's, you know, there's something,
Exactly.
there's always a situation that we don't understand. So like, let's just all try to be kinder, you know, like I wish for that, yeah.
I think especially people who are never parents, right? They have no experience.
Yeah.
I think they have no experience with like child meltdowns.
Yep.
And they are very quick to judge you. Like your
Correct.
kid is flailing on the floor.
Yep.
And they'll say like, oh, the parents don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
But they actually like can't do anything about
They're
it, you know?
helpless
Or
as
some
well.
of them,
It's true. Okay, so like sharing from personal experience, my daughter, when she has meltdowns, she hates being touched. So you cannot interfere in her meltdowns. And that's the way she self-regulates. If you touch her, she'll cry even more. She'll like go into this crazy mode, right? So like people don't understand. So I guess sometimes it's not that they're trying to be mean. Sometimes they just want to help. So like, for example, she had this situation when we were on the plane recently. It was a long flight. You know, like it always starts from there, right? The judgment is like
You're so
everyone.
paiseh as well,
Yeah,
you know,
everyone on the
yeah.
plane is like, why is your kid crying? Can you control your kid? Like, why is he not sitting down? Why is she not sitting? It's always this whole thing, and I completely understand because I was a non-parent as well. I was once like, oh, can you just please settle them down? I want to get some rest, you know, for the rest of my flight. So it's like I understand, but like now as a mom myself, I also understand like where is this coming from, and there's also that fear like I don't want to disturb others. I want to settle my kid down as fast as possible, but sometimes it's not possible, you know. Sometimes it's not within your control, and it's like they have to realize that our kids are not like toys, you know. You can't just turn them off, switch them off, take out their batteries and that's it, you know. It's like you have to wait it out sometimes, you know. And different kids have their different ways of or methods to like cool down and, you know, regulate themselves. So like, yeah, you know.
Oh,
So
what a tough journey, guys.
it's really
What a tough
like
journey.
a lot of things to learn. Yeah.
it's important to remember that parents don't get manuals when they give birth. You know,
Yes.
there's nothing for them to refer to. They're trying out as well, and they're really doing their best
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
So be nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
more love, more kindness, okay? That will really help all moms out there.
So Naomi, we really, really appreciate you sharing. I think this is going to be very helpful for all the moms out there and also non-parents
Yes.
to understand from the perspective of a mom. But for all the moms tuning in that are struggling with exactly what you are, what do you want to say to them?
I think just remember that every day is a work in progress. You know, you don't have to be like the best mom. Just be the best version for yourself. Yeah, I think that's the most important thing.
That's so nice. Applies to non-moms as well. All right, with that, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Clarities.
Podcast. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at itsclarity.co to get the latest updates.
That's right. You can listen to us on Me Listen, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and don't forget to turn on your notification bell.
Once again, thank you. I'm Hazel.
I'm Azura.
I'm Germaine.
And thank you, Naomi. Over this like entire conversation that I have with Naomi, I actually have a lot of like positive takeaways that I feel like I would like jot them down in my notebook.
Same.
For me
Actually,
to
I want her to adopt me like how?
I'm not sure if I have the capacity to.
You're older than